I'm Hannah Larkin. I'm the Communications and Governance Officer for AMOT. Who are you?
I'm Lynsey Slater. I'm a Collections and Exhibitions Officer at Heritage Doncaster, and we hold the King's Own Yorkshire Light Infantry Regimental Collection.
Lovely.
Hi, I'm Rachel Wilkinson. I'm Senior Collections Officer at Durham County Council, and we look after the Durham Light Infantry Collection.
Very nice. And what's brought you here today?
I'll go first. I think one of the best things about these conferences is getting everybody in the room together, because we're all so geographically spread over the country. Sometimes you know that other places are doing the same things that you're doing or have advice to give you, but you just are not in the room with them. They may be many, many miles away. So I think being able to kind of connect with people, get in the same room together, talk about what's going on, get advice from people, mainly over lunch, and be like, what are you doing with this? It's just a really valuable resource.
So 100% what Lynsey was saying. I think really it's been a really great morning in terms of the speakers that we've had. There's such a range of papers, and what I think has been really useful has been people who are not necessarily in sort of the armed forces or the regimental sector coming in to bring learning that is sort of within the wider museum sector. I think as well the conversations that we have over tea and coffee and lunch, really the most surprising ideas come out, or information, or you might be grappling with something, as Lynsey says, and someone is halfway through that project or has done it, and you can sort of add their learnings to yours so that no one's having to reinvent the wheel. And also sometimes it can be not necessarily lonely, but it's wonderful to meet other people who are dealing with the same issues, or having the same ideas, and just having that support and that understanding is just really lovely, and kind of keeps us as sane as we can be, I think. Really.
Have you interacted with our exhibitors much today? And which ones has been your favourite if you've interacted with them at all?
So I've had a chat with a couple. The University of Reading project, I find absolutely fascinating. So if my line manager watches this, it will be absolutely no surprise to her that I've gone to chat to them. So they've got this project on animals, and they were looking at bearskin hats and the animal skins, which is very fascinating, and looking at how we could maybe interpret them going forward. But we were talking about military mascots, so that's sort of an area that's very close to my heart, because I love pets, but I don't have any currently. I'm still working on that. And so sort of talking about how they foster connections, and those stories as a very important way of getting different diverse audiences coming in through the door who might not necessarily connect with that army heritage, or they might not feel that the museum's for them, but it gives them a connection point, which can be really key for us in being able to communicate different stories and histories and remain contemporary, really, I think.
What do you think the biggest idea that's come out from today so far that you're going to sort of implement into the future would be?
Ooh, that's a big question before lunch.
I think Sam's presentation about special educational needs, it's something that I know lots of museums talk about quite heavily, but actually that emphasised that often the most impactful things you can do are the smallest. I think sometimes people get a bit kind of panicked that they have to do huge, wide-reaching projects, but actually, her presentation was a lot about the small day-to-day stuff that makes the most impact. And when she was talking about sounds and things in the galleries, that's something that we've talked about a lot, and it's just reminded me to do a plan that shows where the sounds, where the triggered sounds come from, where there's listening posts and things like that. Because it is little things like that is maybe in a couple of hours of work that is actually very impactful for people. So I think that can be sometimes daunting for people to think, how do we, do this? But as she pointed out, lots of small things add up to big change. So
really good.
I mean, I'm going to completely agree with Lynsey again. I thought that was brilliant, and sort of the activities, the suggestions of activities, and the end advice as well. Pick one thing and do it well. Because as Lynsey says, sometimes you look at the whole thing and you think, oh, that's definitely something we should be doing, but how do we work that into kind of the workflow that we've got otherwise? So I thought that was brilliant. I really thought the Esme Fairburn toolkit was really important as well, because I think just making sure that when we're doing that collaborative work, I think it's going to be a really useful checklist in terms of setting those, I guess, terms of engagement, as it were, in terms of communication and outcomes. It reopens those conversations, and I think having a physical resource, a digital
Yes.
resource,
Yes.
is really important to be able to work through those kind of ideas and make sure that we're doing things to the best of our ability.
Yes.
So yeah, it's been great so far.
Lovely. Thank you very much for answering my questions.
Not at all.